Hello everyone, look at these beautiful earrings. Would you like to know how I made them and what I used to create these unique pieces of jewelry? And keep watching this video. Hello again, I'm Olena and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to show you something a little unusual. This is a plant catalog from a company called Brex. They sell all kind of flowers, especially flower bulbs. I believe it's originally a Dutch company and they offer beautiful tulips, lilies, daffodils and many other spring and summer flowers. I've ordered quite a lot of plants from them over the years, and thanks to that, I now have a beautiful garden. One day, while I was flipping through this catalog, I couldn't take my eyes off the gorgeous flower photographs. Then an idea suddenly came to me. What if I used these pictures to make earrings? There are so many large flowers, small flowers, colorful bouquets, and individual blooms. Honestly, there are enough pictures to make hundreds of pairs of earrings. Of course, I'm not planning to make that many. So now I'm going through the catalog page by page, looking for the flowers that would work best. Choosing isn't easy because there are so many beautiful options. For this video, I want to show you that inspiration can come from almost anywhere and you can use almost any picture or material to create something unique. The first step is to cut out the flower images I'd like to use for my earrings. Then we'll see how these simple pictures are transformed into beautiful handmade jewelry. The principle is always the same. Whenever you find beautiful paper, a magazine, scrapbook paper, wrapping paper, or even a picture that catches your eye, you can use it to create earrings or almost any other piece of jewelry. Step by step, I'm cutting out the flower images I've chosen. In this case, there are tulips, daffodils, and several other beautiful spring flowers. Next, I use my wooden blanks to decide exactly where I want to cut each image. I place a blank over the picture until I'm happy with the composition. This part is actually very relaxing. You can listen to music, watch a video, or enjoy the process while you are working. Now I'm tracing around each blank. You can use a pencil or any other tool that lets you see the outline clearly before cutting. If you watch my previous videos where I use scrapbook or packaging paper, you'll notice the process is the same. Once everything is traced, I cut out all the paper pieces. I don't try to cut right on the line. Instead, I always leave about 1 to 2 millimeters of extra paper around the edges. That gives me a little room to adjust the paper when I glue it onto the blank. Later, I'll trim it perfectly using either a craft knife or manicure scissors. Now it's time for my favorite glue, Mod Podge. Of course, you can use any glue you prefer. Regular PVA glue also works very well. I noticed that the paper from this catalog is quite thin, so you have to be gentle when applying the glue and smoothen it onto the wooden blank to avoid wrinkles or tears. And here they are, all the blanks with the paper glue on. Now I'm carefully trimming the edges with my sharp scissors. It's simple, repetitive work that doesn't require any special skills, just a little patience. Even at this stage, you can already see the transformation. The earrings are beginning to come to life, and the beautiful flower images are starting to look like real pieces of jewelry. I also tried using a craft knife, but be- because this paper is so thin, I found that sharp scissors actually work much better for trimming the edges. Now all the wooden blanks have the flower images glued on. They are already looking bright, colorful, and beautiful. Flowers always bring so much life and colors to a project. The next step is to finish the back of each earring. I like to use wood markers because they are very easy to work with. They dry quickly, give an even finish, and don't leave streaks or spots. Once the backs are colored, I apply a coat of Mod Podge to seal everything and prepare the earring for the next stage. While the earrings are drying, my husband is busy working on another project, and I decided to take a short break and walk through my garden. It's the beginning of July, and many of my flowers are just starting to bloom. The garden isn't quite as full as it was last year because we had a very harsh winter, but it's still beautiful. I'm checking my hostas and my clematis has just started flowering. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Taking a few minutes to enjoy the garden is a perfect break from crafting. Fresh air, beautiful flowers, and a peaceful atmosphere always give me new energy, fresh inspiration, and make me happy before I return to my work. I have no idea where my cat Sonia is hiding. She usually follows me around, but today she completely disappeared. Oh, here she is. She finally came out. Now it's time for our little promenade around the garden. Sonia loves walking with me in the morning and evening, and sometimes during the day when I take a short break from work. Alright, let's get back to making the earrings. The next step is coloring the edges of each wooden black. After that, I apply varnish, starting with the back of the smaller pieces before moving on to the larger ones. I always varnish the back first and let it dry for at least 1 or 2 hours. If I'm working late in the afternoon, I often leave everything to dry overnight. I actually prefer doing that because the next morning the pieces are completely dry and much easier to handle. For the edges, I'm using a gold marker. I really like the elegant finish it gives, but you can choose any color that matches your design. I also outline the front edges with the same gold marker to create a neat finish look. Now the entire collection is ready for the final finish on the front. I'm using gloss Mod Podge because it dries quickly and brings out the colors beautifully. As soon as you apply it, the flowers become brighter, richer, and much more vibrant. I decided to apply 2 coats.
Because the best defense starts with Canadian products. Get financing and advice at bbc.ca/defense.
What if you could stay connected and save at the same time? With Rogers powered by Zoomer, card members unlock exclusive savings on Rogers 5G Plus plans starting from just $20 a month, plus preferred pricing on the latest smartphones. And get a free annual card.
While I was brushing on the second coat, I had another idea. I added a few tiny clear cabochons that look like little drops of water. They're inexpensive, but they create a lovely three-dimensional effect, almost as if the flowers are covered with fresh morning dew. I think they make the earrings look even more natural and unique. Now I leave everything to dry for another 2 or 3 hours until the Mod Podge is completely cured and the little droplets are firmly attached. The final step is assembly. I use 18-karat gold plated hooks, attach all the findings and finish the earrings. And here they are, the completed collection. The camera doesn't quite capture how beautiful they really are because I'm filming late in the afternoon and tomorrow I have a craft market, so I'm trying to finish everything before then. Besides these flowers earrings, I also made several other collections, including some fun novelty earrings and a beautiful butterfly wing collection. And you probably already seen some of my other designs in previous videos.